Good morning, members. It is Friday, May 29th, and it is Miss Mylisha here with you with another video. Today's topic is actually going to be about anxiety, tips on cooling off, and how to identify anxiety in youth. Members, this is for you. I know some people often have a little confusion about what exactly it is to be anxious versus actually having anxiety issues. So I would like to give you guys a little more information on that. So if this may be something that you're dealing with, something that you can identify and you can start working towards picking up techniques on how to cope with these things. So me explaining anxiety is going to come from mayoclinic.org. I wanted to make sure that I gave you guys more of a medical overview on it so that you know the difference between anxiety and other things that you may have had confused with having an anxiety disorder. For their overview, they talk about experiencing occasional anxiety is a normal part of life. However, people with the anxiety disorders frequently have intense, excessive, and persistent worrying and fear about everyday situations. Often, anxiety disorders involve repeated episodes of feeling sudden feelings of intense anxiety, fear, or terror that reaches a peak within minutes. So, this is something you may identify as a panic attack. Examples of anxiety disorders include generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety, specific phobias, and separation anxiety disorder. You can have more than one anxiety disorder, and sometimes anxiety results in a need for medical attention. Whatever form of anxiety you have, treatment can always help. However, I am going to teach you guys at home techniques that might be helpful in everyday situations when you may not be able to reach out to medical treatment, or even for people that may not have the access to having medical treatment, this would be something that may be resourceful to you. Now, it does also give us some symptoms of each of these types of anxieties, but overall, these symptoms can include feeling nervous, restless, or tired, sweating, trembling, having a sense of danger, panic, or doom, or having an increased heart rate, breathing really heavy, hyperventilation, having trouble sleeping, having trouble concentrating or thinking about things other than the thing that you are worrying about, and having difficulty controlling your worry. Also having the urge to avoid things that trigger anxiety. So there are several types of anxiety disorders that do exist. The most common ones that are generally found in younger adults are specific phobias, separation anxiety, social anxiety disorder, panic disorders, and anxiety disorders due to a medical condition. Now, the anxiety disorder due to medical conditions include symptoms of intense anxiety or panic that are directly caused by a physical health problem. So a generalized anxiety disorder would be including persistent and excessive anxiety and worry about activities or events, even ordinary routine issues. So panicking, like getting ready just to go somewhere, or rushing and over panicking about simplistic daily tasks that you do on the daily. That would be something more of a general anxiety. Panic disorder involves repeated episodes of sudden feelings of intense anxiety and fear or terror that reaches a peak within minutes. You may have feelings of impending doom, shortness of breath, chest pain, rapid fluttering, or heart pounding. These panic attacks may lead to worrying about them happening again or avoiding situations in which they've occurred. So panic disorders are often found within people that have different types of anxiety. Social anxiety is a big thing with panic disorders. I know a lot of people that have social anxiety and they get in groups and they do have panic. They have get in too big of groups and they have panic attacks. So social anxiety is going to be the next one I'm defining. Or you can also reword it as social phobia. It involves high-level anxiety, fear, and avoidance of social situations due to the feelings of embarrassment, self-consciousness, and concern about being judged or viewed negatively by others. So just having social anxiety, having that fear of having a whole bunch of eyes on you. This is a really common anxiety disorder. This is also something that is treatable. This is also something that you can work on the anxieties that I am defining, I'm also going to be giving tips on how to cope with like the panic attacks or just these feelings itself. Now, I didn't want to forget about the separation anxiety disorder. This is something that's really big in youth. This is something that's really big in older youth, teens, mainly before adulthood, but a lot of adults are also experiencing these things too. Separation anxiety disorder is a childhood disorder characterized by anxiety that's excessive for the child's developmental needs, and related to separation from parents or others who have parental roles. So having that fear of anxiety when you have a parent walk out, or a guardian, or someone in that parental status having anxiety over those issues would be more related to separation anxiety. The causes of these things aren't really fully understood. Life experiences such as traumatic events, they tend to trigger anxiety disorders in people who are already prone to anxiety. You can inherit traits, and they can also be a factor in developing anxiety as well. Some medical causes that may be linked to the underlying health issues. In some cases, anxiety signs and symptoms are the first indicators of a medical illness. Of course, if it is serious and your doctor suspects your anxiety may have a medical cause, he or she may order to test to look to see what the signs may be for these problems. Now, risk factors that may increase your anxiety can be trauma. Children who have endured abuse or trauma or witnessed traumatic events are at a higher risk of developing an anxiety disorder at some point. Adults who experience a traumatic event can also develop anxiety disorders. Stress due to illnesses, stress buildup, personality, other mental health disorders also can also be a risk factor to anxiety. And having relatives with this disorder as well. Anxiety disorders can run in the family and they can be inherited. Now, there is no way to prevent developing anxiety. There's no way to predict for certain that this will cause someone to develop an anxiety disorder as well. You know, you can go through these traumatic events and not develop anxiety over time. Now, good ways to reduce the impact of the symptoms if you are anxious is getting help early. Anxiety, like many other mental health conditions, can be harder to treat if you wait too long. Staying active, participating in sports, activities, daily activities that make you feel good, help you get out, keep your mind off of things. You got people that'll go out shopping to reduce anxiety. They may go out running, jogging, exercise, whatever it is that helps you cope with anxiety will always be something great that'll help you calm down. Now, I am going to give you 11 ways to cope with anxiety. Now, the first one that I have here is going to be coming from healthline.com. I would like to identify all the websites I'm using because these are some great websites, some great resources that you can find yourself. If you need some tips on anxiety, you can always type into Pinterest or just straight into Google, anxiety tips for coping with anxiety or anything in that nature, and it will give you a bunch of different coping mechanisms. But this one I found from Healthline. I'm going to give you the 11 that they're giving. The first one says, question your thought pattern. Negative thoughts can take a root in your mind and distort the severity of the situation. So, first step in coping with anxiety, question your thought pattern. Ask yourself, am I thinking negatively? Can I find a way to rethink this out in a positive manner so that you can change your energy? Practice focus. Deep breath is the second one. Try breathing in for 4 counts and breathing out for 4 counts for about 5 minutes in total. By evening out your breath, you'll slow your heart rate, which will help you calm down. The 4-7-8 technique is known to help anxiety. So doing a 4 count in, 4 count out for about 5 minutes. Another way I've helped cope with anxiety, because I have experienced some social anxiety issues when trying to de-escalate. It's always a good thing to hold your hands on top of your head. It opens up your lungs and your airway, and it'll help you calm down and help you get your breath back at a better pace if you're having trouble breathing. Always remember to hold it above your heads, because that's what's lifting and opening up those lungs and giving you more breath to come in through your airway. This one does says use aromatherapy now. For younger members that do not have access to candles, I would ask a parent to buy you a candle or oil farm, something that'll be age appropriate. You can light it in your room, or you can put the oil in your room so the smell can go through the air. But aromatherapy is thought to help active certain receptors in your brain, easing anxiety. Next one, exercise. Go for a walk or do 15 minutes of yoga. Either will work. If you're not a yoga person, if you're not a walking outside person, if you like to dance, if you have anything that you can do inside the home that is going to have you sweating a little bit, that would be a good step in cooling yourself down. You don't want to run like a sprint mile or do anything like that, because it's actually gonna make your heart rate go up even more. So you want to do something that's going to be a little more soothing, relaxing. If you're going to be in dancing or something, I wouldn't say go full out, just find a way to keep your breath going low still. The next tip was write down your thoughts. If you have a journal, if you have a notebook, when you are getting anxious, taking and jotting down into that notebook with your thoughts and what's going on gives you a chance to de-escalate. Take your thoughts and put it on paper. And if you ever have to go back to it and you need a reminder in order to help you cope with these things, that would be a great step as well. Okay, now a 6-term long strategy for coping with anxiety. The first one would be identifying and learning your main triggers, what it is that gives you anxiety, what it is that is leading to you being anxious. Some general triggers could be a stressful school environment, for older teens, work environments, for a lot of members, a lot of youth. I could see genetics. Genetics. Anxiety could always run in your family. It's very hereditary. It is a big thing in a bunch of different communities. So being able to identify it and finding a way to help cope with it would always be a good way. Side effects, of course, from trauma, phobias, chronic illnesses, pain, and having mental illnesses. Caffeine as well. So if you think you are experiencing any type of anxiety, drinking caffeinated beverages, anything with caffeine in it is only going to make your anxiety worse. It's only going to increase your heart rate as well, and you don't want to make that any worse. Try changing your diet. If you're noticing anxiety is bad, you should put some healthier foods into your body. Having healthy foods, fruits, vegetables, anything filled with vitamins and minerals, it's definitely going to help to get your blood feeling better, get your body feeling better, and it will overall make you feel better. Now, some signs you may have had a panic attack. You might have fear, like something's going to happen to you, feeling like you're losing control, feeling like you're disattached from whatever is going on around you. Of course, I said heart rate increase, dizziness, tingling in any of your fingers, your body like going from feeling a normal temperature to feeling too cold or feeling too hot. These things are things that you can help you identify if you may be having a panic attack. Now, Healthline also says, they also answer the question, what causes anxiety? And I'm just going to read off of here. If you notice that quick tips haven't been working, you may want to consider seeing a professional for help, especially if you believe you have GAD and it's interfering with routine activities and causing physical problems. A mental health professional can help you with streamlining the process of identifying your triggers, maintaining long-term strategies through behavioral therapies, medications if necessary. Some positive affirmations for anxiety include telling yourself, I am not what my mind creates. You can tell yourself, I am stronger than the thoughts in my head. I have the power to control my thoughts. I have the power to navigate my emotions. I have total control over my life. I have total control over my body. My anxiety does not define me. What I am experiencing is only temporary. I choose what I become and what happens to me. I have the courage to say no to my anxiety. My reality is created in my own mind, and I have the power to control my reality. I am mentally strong. I am fierce and a strong being. No obstacle is too big for me to conquer. My anxiety does not make me weak. It makes me human. I'm going to copy these affirmations at the end of this video so that you guys can reference back to them if you need them. I hope that this video could have been helpful for some members, even for the parents that may be experiencing anxiety. Being able to identify your anxiety at an early age or at an early time whenever you are developing these symptoms, getting to the root of the causes, and finding ways to cope with anxiety is always going to help with these type of issues. You can always look online for help if you're not able to reach out to anybody on a medical team. But I hope that this could have been a help to you guys. Thank you again for watching me again, and I hope you all have a good one.